This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
It is now 19 hours in Guyana, and you're listening to Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith with your nightly newscast. The oil and gas industry is often referred to as a capital-intensive industry, and according to a recent forecast, the development of the Stabroek Block is expected to cost the country in excess of $1 trillion to be expended over the next 3 years. This information can be gleaned from the most recent financial statements and accompanying notes for Stabroek Block operator Esso. Guyana currently has 2 FPSO units and is currently producing crude oil from the Stabroek Block, the Liza Destiny and Liza Unity, and a third is currently under construction. In other news, local businesses servicing the oil and gas sector continue to lament the lengthy time it takes the oil and gas companies to pay them for goods and services provided. The issue of late payments has been a sore one and is being blamed for the stifling of local businesses. As such, the government is expected to revise the regulations in the Local Content Act with a view of remedying the situation. And the Demerara Bank on Thursday ceremonially turned the sod for the construction of a $150 million branch office at Lenora on the west coast of Demerara. According to the bank's CEO, Pravindra Dev, the facility, which is expected to be completed within the next 18 months, will provide accessible banking services to thousands of customers traversing the West Coast Demerara route. According to the CEO, Demerara Bank has been leading in its support for investment in the agricultural, mining, and other sectors. According to Dev, it is estimated that with the construction of the facility, 75,000 people will benefit from the services. And as the National Tush House Council conference settled into its 4th day of interactions between indigenous leaders and state officials, President Ali on Thursday announced that a $3 billion support for the nation's people, First People. Ali made the unexpected announcement at the Arthur Chang Conference Center, telling Amerindian leaders that their development remains a priority for the government. The president highlighted that $250 million out of that sum will go specifically towards youth empowerment projects, and that cabinet members will be heading to Amerindian villages in the coming weeks to help crystallize plans for the utilization of the funds. And moving on, Leon Waddle, the self-confessed killer of missing Kurukururu man Answar Stall, refused to say where he had buried the body, but detectives have recovered scattered skeletal remains that they believe to be that of the victim. The skeletal remains were found on Wednesday around 20 hours 35 in the Kurukururu Back Dam, scattered across an area measuring 30 feet in diameter. While some DNA testing will be needed to confirm that the remains belong to Stahl, investigators said that a chop wound seen on the skull recovered corresponds with the suspect's description of killing his victim. And in other news, the full court on Thursday threw out an application by Attorney General Anil Nandlal intended to block former Police Service Commission Chairman Paul Slow from challenging a decision by President Ali to fire the entire commission last year, and the failure of the government to recognize the promotion of 132 senior police officers from inspector to assistant commissioner made by the said commission. Shortly after Ali sacked the commission, Slow and the other commissioners moved to the court, challenging the decision, but the life of the commission subsequently expired and Nandlal moved to the High Court before Justice Gina Prasad, asking for the matter to be discharged as the commission was no longer in place. Justice Prasad, however, on March 9th, ruled that he found that the issues raised by Slow and parties in the case are matters of public interest, supported by law. In other news, during the opening of tenders on Thursday, a contract for the construction of a stelling at Port Kaituma Region 1 is estimated to cost $1 billion. The project is being undertaken by the Ministry of Public Works. At the opening, 2 contractors have submitted a bid to execute the construction works. The stelling, when completed, would facilitate the better movement of goods for the people of Region 1. And to wrap things up this evening, let's tell you that Ramps Logistics Guyana said that it has resubmitted an application on Thursday for the entry into the local content registry. In a statement last month, the Trinidadian-owned Ramps Logistics Guyana Inc. had complained that it was denied a local content certificate. According to Ramps, it is a leading provider of freight forwarding and supply chain management services. Meanwhile, the Private Sector Commission, in a statement reacting to the issue, highlighted its concern over the bundling of contracts in the oil sector, thereby hindering local businesses from participating in tenders for the provision of services or goods. And that brings us to the end of this evening's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. Do have a wonderful and safe rest of the weekend.